Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I thought we would do a little video of kind of like a 2020 recap / what we expect from 2021. Let's start with last year.
We were down in Lexington. We were hanging out with the guys, drinking, celebrating.
Weird to think about now.
Yeah.
So different. Yeah, last year we celebrated with a bunch of friends. Just hanging out and being happy. We did a murder mystery party. It was Roaring 20s themed, so we were all dressed up. It was fun. Do you remember anything from January? Because it's been like the longest year
I don't
ever.
remember anything.
Yeah. Okay, so just like a little recap. We had locust swarm in Africa, the Brexit, the Australian bushfires, Kobe Bryant died, the impeachment trial started. Remember how long ago that was? Everything was cake. Do you remember that? When everything was cake. There was videos everywhere that was like something that looked real, and then you would just see somebody
Oh, yeah.
cut into it. It was cake. Yeah. And then our trip to New Orleans. That was in January.
It wasn't January.
Doesn't that feel like forever ago?
Yeah, it does feel like forever ago.
Yeah. So last January, we had started traveling officially, and that was our plan for 2020. It was the travel year. We were going to go lots of places. We had quite a few things booked already that didn't happen. So
Got canceled.
yeah, the first one that got canceled, it wasn't even because of COVID. It was just there was stuff going on with work. But then like right after that, it was just like, nope, we're not going anywhere. In February.
Started.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting ready to say. In February, the Diamond Princess cruise ship was quarantined. And that was when it started being like, oh, something's happening.
And then that's when we decided we weren't going on our cruise that was booked.
Like at first, like, I know for me at least, I was like, okay, that's weird. Something's happening. Like there's some sickness going around the cruise, but I didn't like understand like how big it was. Yeah. You know, like some of those things you see where it's like, oh yeah, this thing's happening in this other country, you know, like I hope things work out for them. Like you just like, I don't know, you don't think it's gonna affect you?
I kind of already saw it happening.
For Valentine's Day, I bought you tickets for My Hero Academia. I think that was our last movie.
It was before they closed down everything.
So February was our last movie that we got to go out to a theater to see.
Well, I guess everything was closer to March. But
Yeah. But that was the last like one we went to because like I was in the movie club and I got a ticket every month, so we would go like every 2 months because then I'd have like two tickets on my account and I would just like be like, oh, what's playing? So yeah, February was our last one. Also, February was a leap year. I didn't realize that. Like, I guess I had forgot because I have this little joy journal that I've been keeping all year, and I got to the last page and I wrote, you know, December 30th on page 365, and I was like, wait a minute, there's another day. Did I mess up the journal? And then I realized that it was leap year. So I had to like handwrite it in the blank space. So it felt like the longest year ever, but it really was. It was really a long year.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it felt longer than...
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt longer. So March, that's when it was real for me, was March.
I mean, I think it's real
for everybody, yeah. Because I was working Instacart, and I was starting to see, you know, the toilet paper aisles were empty. The canned goods started going down. Like, the pasta aisles were empty for, like, ever. Like, I've seen, like, sales come and, like, people come in and wipe stuff out, like, of the sale item, but never to, like, that extent. So that was crazy. Our blue-green stuff started getting canceled. So we had a trip for Tennessee in March, and we were supposed to go for the weekend. And that was supposed to be our first getaway together. So me and Michael have been together for 6 years, and we have never had a vacation with just the two of us. Like, not even our honeymoon. Like, it hasn't happened yet. So that was supposed to be our first one. Yeah, it got canceled. That was the first one I was, like, really sad about. I was like, oh.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Or somewhere else or something else.
Yeah, and at the time I was like, it's gonna be a while before we can go. I don't think I realized how long.
Yeah. Still gonna be a little while.
Yeah. We had decided that I should stop Instacart.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't feel like it was safe. So we don't have health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And I started working for SAP in March.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger King was in March.
Tiger King. Mm-hmm.
I never ever thought, like when that first popped up on Netflix, I was like, there's no way I'll watch this. This is so stupid. This looks so stupid. And I think I talked you into it just for like laughs. I was like, let's just watch the first episode.
Fuck Carol Baskin.
And that happened. I literally have that right here next to, where is it? Tiger King. Fuck Carol Baskin. But I did not expect us to like get sucked into that the way that it did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I would have never thought that something like that would have like blown up and everybody be talking about it. But
Nationally.
that's funny. Like a little kind of personal note is like the first time I talked to Sam from the McWho podcast. Because I remember talking to her like 2 weeks before I quit Instacart, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm essential. Like, haha, I'm still working, whatever. Because she asked if I was working from home. And then like it was like the next week or the week after, we decided that it wasn't a good idea. So that was like my first interview to be on the first episode. April. Do you remember anything in April?
Since that, I don't remember anything this year really.
So April was 420 all month. And do you remember last year how everybody kept being like, oh, it's gonna be 420 all month for like a whole month? Do you remember that? It was like a post everywhere about it. Everybody's like, oh yeah, next year's gonna be 420 the whole month.
420, 2020, yeah.
Yeah. And it came, and there was nothing mentioned. Like, there was just so much else going on
Yeah.
that it was like nobody cared, or they all forgot, and it wasn't because everybody was high.
Because of that.
I don't know, I guess. My dad's birthday drive-by was in April. So that was, it was still like the beginning, and everybody had started doing birthday drive-by, so we did one for my dad. But we all like wrote on our cars with chalk marker and like drove by and singing happy birthday from the yard, all spaced out. So that was interesting. That was the first. Trump's injecting disinfectant comment that happened in April.
Yep. I remember that.
That happened.
That was back in April.
Yeah. May was rough. So in May, George Floyd was murdered. The Black Lives Matter protests started. Murder hornets were spotted in the U.S. for the first time.
Started. This one things.
So like,
they got worse.
bam, 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 bad. Like it was just everything looked bad
This
and
one I
glim.
think they couldn't get worse.
Yeah.
Things got worse.
But the highlight kind of part of May was John Krasinski started Some Good News.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like showing all like the good things that were happening. There were moments in Some Good News that were just like so sweet that like we'd just sit there and like after like looking at the screen, we'd look over at each other and then we'd both be like really teary-eyed and like kind of like confirm like, yeah, that was super sweet. Like that was like good, like heartwarming. So that was nice. Some McWho stuff happened. So my first episode that I was in aired in May. So that was my first time on their podcast. And then also they had a watch party drinking game, which was like, that was like my first kind of like Zoom, like hangout kind of thing with people outside of family. And it was really fun. And then at the end of May, do you know what happened at the end of May? Particularly the 25th.
Her anniversary?
Yay! At our 1 year anniversary while quarantined.
Is it bad that I didn't realize that actually May?
Yeah?
It was 5/25.
You just didn't know what 5 was? What month is 5? That's funny.
That's why you said May 25th, and I'm like, the 25th is important. 5? It is.
Yep, May's 5. What about June? Does June make you think of anything? Bonnaroo. We're supposed to go to Bonnaroo this year.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
It's supposed to happen in September too.
Yeah, it got pushed back to September originally, and then it got pushed back again. So they're hoping for next year, but
I think it's already back to next year.
it might be. And a lot of the festivals have already started pushing back stuff that they have for next summer. Maybe eventually we'll have festivals again. My favorite thing that we did in June, and probably my favorite TV show, I think, of 2020, was Dark. We binged Dark.
Yeah,
So Dark was on Netflix, and I think we just kind of happened to stumble upon it. And it's very sci-fi and like mind-bending and stuff like that we love. And yeah, it was great. It's fantastic. So would you say it's one of your top of 2020 that we've watched?
Definitely.
Sleep schedules started not becoming a thing. Like in June, like my sleep schedule started totally being gone. I don't even know what a sleep schedule is anymore. I mean, yours has always been kind of messy, but Smokey's real mad at me because he still yells at me at like the same time that I would normally go to bed before. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
He wakes up in the middle of
I'm
the night.
awake. I don't know what's going on.
He wakes up in the middle of the night, comes to the office, looks up at me, and just goes, "Meow." I'm like, your mom's sleeping. Go back to bed.
He wants you to go to
I'm
bed.
like, leave me alone.
July. I have 5 words for you to remind you of something that happened in July. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. That happened.
Cognitive test interview.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That became a meme. July 4th, I think that was our official holiday quarantine. I think that was the first time that like
Yeah.
we like watched as people all got together and we just didn't. We're just like, oh, that's
so thingy.
yeah, he doesn't like fireworks that much.
That's what it is. I keep wondering why he jumps off me and then comes back, and then jumps off me and then comes back, and then jumps off me and then comes
Yeah.
back.
He's great. In August, I talked Michael into doing a 3-day smoothie detox with me, and I'm pretty sure he hated me.
I don't think it helped. It made me feel worse.
He wasn't putting any greens in his stuff. He was just doing protein powder and milk and fruit.
Yeah.
So, and I kept telling him he needed to put some greens in it, or like some like kind of equivalent, and he was just like, no, I just want this. And then he was like, oh, I feel really, really bad.
No, really good up. I just, by day 2, I was not happy.
Yeah.
My stomach was like, yep, no, this isn't happening anymore. You need real food. Put something warm and cooked in you, not frozen and slushed.
Fall Guys came out in August. So that was a big part of our August. Fall Guys was great.
You know, it's Fall Guys in August.
And I filmed my first vlog, but it didn't go up yet. I decided to give it a go. In September, I started learning to play the ukulele. My papa gave us that old PC, and Will had been quarantining, so he came over and you guys worked on it.
Took it apart, got everything cleaned up, put back together, turned it back on, and got to play some Microsoft Flight Simulator, like 80s.
How was it compared to like the Flight Simulator you're used to now? Like, how different was it?
This was like, you'd move forward, and then you'd stop. And then you move forward, and then you'd stop. And then you move forward, and then you'd stop. And yeah, it was probably about 10 frames per second. Maybe less. You just kind of do across the screen as you fly. Turning and steering was really hard because like you'd hit a key and you'd be like, okay, which way am I facing now? And you'd wait, and all of a sudden you'd be like, it's like, no! You'd spam upward, and then you'd be like, did I fix it?
That's funny. I feel like that would frustrate me, and I'd end up rage quitting. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing this. That was fun though, because that was like our little quarantine sleepover.
Yeah, it was a little something different.
Yeah, I kept wanting to talk to Will. Like, it was just so nice to like have somebody aside from Michael, in the house that like I hadn't been able to talk to and like that I could talk to. Because like, I don't know, it just made me realize how much we hadn't seen anybody.
And get cooped up.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, a real person. Hi.
Talk to me.
Tell me everything. We also found out that we were at the end of September that we'd be moving.
Yeah, I guess we did figure that out by the end of September too, didn't we?
Yeah, because we found out Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday.
We made a decision before
And we
really
had to know by Sunday.
Yep.
Like we had to decide by Sunday.
Yep.
So we had 24, like a very stressful 24 hours to figure out what we wanted to do. Like it was kind of expected. Like we knew it was always a possibility. We just weren't prepared for when it happened. So the figuring out we were gonna move in September is what made me decide to go ahead and go forward with the vlogs. When I originally recorded in August, I was just wanting a place to like have memories like stored, basically, where I could like look back on things. I thought it would be nice.
A hobby.
Yeah, and like just to be able to look back on like major events, because when I started it, I knew that like, I mean, we're planning on traveling all this year and it didn't happen, but I knew that eventually like that's what we want to do. When we can travel again, like we have a bunch of places we want to go. I thought it would be like cool to document those and have a place to put videos of stuff like that. But then when we found out we were moving, I was like, this could be a really cool way to show the family what we're doing, because like we're going to be moving 10 hours away from my family. We're not going to see them that often. So it'd be like an easy way to keep in touch. Like, hey, this is what's going on in our life. So that's kind of what gave me like the push to actually post the first video. And then I actually posted it in October. We also did our social distancing camping trip, which was really weird but fun. As like a way to kind of say goodbye to the friend group. Because we knew it was probably one of the last times we'd see them before we moved.
Mm-hmm.
So we all went out in the middle of nowhere, basically, and camped distanced away from each other, like we did hammock camping.
It was a friend's house.
Yeah, but well, he lives in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like he has a big property, and we all just kind of spread out. So that was fun. We had our little movie date night and watched the Disney movie Clouds.
Oh yeah.
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 So I knew I wanted to see it from the moment that I knew it was coming out. So I just was like, Michael, do you want to watch this movie? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, come on, let's watch it. And he cried first. So I feel like I won, but we were both a mess. It was so cute.
You just asked me to watch those movies, and I'm not in the mood for emotional movies all the time.
You know. But it was such a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It was a really good movie. My birthday, we watched another movie. So I have been trying to talk Michael into watching Baby Mama forever. And he would always say no, he didn't want to watch it. And he'd never seen it, and he hadn't even seen a trailer, so he had no reason to think he didn't like it. So I used my birthday as an excuse to make him watch it. It was not as bad as you thought it was going to be, was it?
Not as bad as I thought it was.
You laughed sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Some of the
so
jokes.
funny. Yeah.
You liked it.
I'm trying to remember it. What it was about.
Here, hang on. This is Baby Mama. It's got Tina Fey and Amy Poehler in it, and it is hilarious, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, watch it. You will giggle. I love that movie. November, of course, we had the election that never ends. Our car decided to die because it was sick of 2020.
Yeah, I fixed that.
But we fixed it. But it tried.
Yeah, it's fine.
It said it was tired of 2020. We had our first Thanksgiving with just us.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. It was kind of nice though. Like we got to like video chat with the family. It was my first time like making a Thanksgiving dinner, and I feel like it turned out really good. Everything was great. We rotate holidays between his family and mine. So it's like we're always gone visiting family, and it's always like chaotic, whether we're here with my big family or we're like making a long drive and visiting his family. And it's just, it's always like a whole ordeal, holidays. And like, don't get me wrong, it's great. Like we love seeing the family. And so that part of it was weird this year, not being able to see them. But I don't know, it was kind of nice at the same time, just having like the just calm holiday.
Yep, it was relaxing. No stress, no worries. We got to kick back.
I'm surprised we didn't nap. I think like we just
I
weren't
fought
as
through it.
exhausted, I think,
Yeah.
as we normally are on
Yeah,
holidays.
there just wasn't people running around in our environment. At
Yeah.
home, we could kick back and sit back without any stresses during the whole day.
I think I even stayed up late. Like I woke up early and stayed up late. Like I wasn't tired at all,
Yeah.
which is really weird for a holiday.
I think we actually stayed together that night,
Yeah, it was.
which doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, Michael stays up ungodly hours. The vaccine
It's an hour.
was announced that it was at completion. The
That's
first
when
one.
they started shipping it to just higher people.
Mhm. Yep.
Government officials, health officials.
Yeah, the first rounds of the vaccine actually started getting sent out in the U.S. this month, the beginning of December.
That's when we started seeing all the social media posts of people showing pictures of them getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
UK started theirs last month.
hmm
Theirs was sooner than ours.
Yeah.
I remember seeing British videos going
Mhm.
up first.
My favorite highlight that I wrote down of December was package wrestling. Michael's birthday's in December, and then we also had Secret Santa stuff coming in the mail, and then like just regular stuff that we had bought for each other. So it was like some things would come in, and I'm like, I don't know if Michael's allowed to have this yet. So he got a birthday present, which we found out was from my mom. But it was this box, and I was like, I'm not expecting this. The Secret Santa present for him that I know is coming should say Secret Santa. The like box that he knew was coming wasn't supposed to come that day. So I was just like, I don't know if you're allowed to open this. Like, wait a minute. And he's like, no, it's got my name on it. I want to open it. And so like we literally wrestled with this package in the living room, like tried to like pull each other away from it and like get to it and protect it or open it in Michael's case. And like we went like all the way to the office, like trying to like fight each other for it and just like laughing hysterically. And I lose my strength when I laugh for some reason, which is not fair because he would just do something silly like butt me with his butt and I'd giggle more, and then like I couldn't hold him as tight as I was anymore, which I think you do that on purpose and it's not fair. But it was really, really funny. And I ended up noticing that there was a packing slip on the side, and I opened it and I was like, oh, look, there's a note. It's a gift. You're not supposed to open it. And then we called my mom and she's like, yeah, he can open it. It's fine. So we wrestled for nothing, but it was hilarious. You got your VR this month?
I did get my VR treadmill. That was nice. It kicks my ass. I'm so out of shape. So it's nice, but I feel more exhausted now because of it.
Yeah. Well, so we've talked about where we were. We've talked about things that have happened.
Mhm.
So what do you expect or want to happen in 2021?
Vaccine.
I mean, that's rolling out.
That's what I expect and what I want.
I
Vaccine. I want some normalcy of life. It's weird because like I don't even really go out that much.
Mhm.
It's just knowing that I can't because everything is what mentally gets me. Like it has nothing. Like I don't have to go out, but knowing that
knowing that you can is
Yeah.
better.
it's more comforting.
Yeah,
It's the comfort factor. It's just knowing that if I wanted to go out, I could, and I wouldn't
you
have
don't
to stress.
feel like trapped.
Yeah.
You can find.
Mm-hmm. That I'm looking forward to.
I mentioned this to your mom earlier. I am hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Just like I feel like we've had the worst and like it can only go up, but I don't want to like say that because you never know. Like things can always get worse. But so like I'm hoping for the best. I feel like with the vaccine, it's gonna take a little while to get everything rolled out for us to be what will be our new normal, because I don't think we'll ever go back to normal. There will be a new normal. And then I don't know. I expect it's gonna take time. So I'm not really in a rush, and I'm just kind of like, I'll see where it goes. I do hope that we can get back to some normalcy. I really, really hope that we can do some traveling, if possible. Like if that becomes a possibility again, I would love to replan some of those trips we had planned. I feel like we're gonna have to push stuff back again,
It's
But-
looks like that, so.
but that's what I hope. That's my hope.
Yeah.
That's been our recap for 2020. It's been a weird year. Michael's over this video. I don't blame him. I kind of am too. I'm kind of over 2020. Now we are going to actually go ahead and make our next video. We're going to play Truth or Drink. So you get to look forward to that next week. But we're done for now. That's it from us this week.
Bye!
Bye! That was nice.
A real person.
I mean, you know what I mean. You're always here. A real person that's not always here. The people that aren't always here are not. Well, I mean, they're real people still, but they're in a screen.
Person.
I want to say you don't count, but that sounds mean.
I'm alive. I breathe. I'm real.
You go.